Post-race live from the London Aquatic Centre. What a day we had here, the first day of the London Derby. Only 14 points separating our top two teams. Energy Standard, though, on top as we welcome you in. Bernie Guenther, Mark Foster. This first day, man, it had everything, didn't it? We had some upsets, we had some great races, and some drama at the end.
There were some real upsets early doors, seeing Petey lose in front of his own crowd. But we saw some fast racing, we saw some tired racing, and it was a tale of two competitions, the top two and the bottom two.
And we almost saw a world record from Minna Atherton, but the story for day number one, James Gibson, Energy Standard. They're on top here to begin the day, and James, we welcome you in. It was a great start to the day, but a disappointing finish. Relay DQ's second time we've seen it. What are you guys going to do to work on that as we head towards Las Vegas?
Yeah, a little bit disappointing, but you know, we've got to take the positives. In Naples, we're 20 points behind at this point, the Cali Condors. And look, it's frustrating, but the guy didn't mean to do it, and we've all been in that place before, us as ex-athletes. And well, I'm pleased we're in the lead, but now I guess it's more competitive tomorrow. Had we not got the DQ, we're sitting 40 points in front, and that makes us all quite comfortable for tomorrow. But it'll be a better show. It'll be a better show for everyone at home.
I was going to say, it was one of these things, I was stood up the top and I said to Bernie, I think that was tight. And you just got a little bit excited. It's one of those things in the moment, the adrenaline going. Sometimes we get things wrong.
No, it happens. I'm just looking back on it now. And, I think things happen in races because people are excited, there's adrenaline. And obviously you never want it to happen to you. But I'm looking at the positives. I'm really chuffed with the team performance.
Yeah.
And the team performance as a whole, like London, are exceptionally strong. And there's been upsets here, there, everywhere, and you've got the wrong video there because that's a safe exchange. It was the third one.
That was very safe.
That was a very safe
slow
one.
change.
That was a slow changeover. That was Chad going in there, and he was good. He was spot on. Like, Chad was fantastic tonight. I'm really happy. Like young little Kayla Sanchez, she really stood up. Taking the win in the 2-3, extra points in the 50. Awesome night for her. Awesome. And the nature of the ISL and the way it is, it's all unpredictable. In Naples, we were 40 points behind going into the last session, and we won. We won by 3 points. And it would have been nice to have that buffer on London, but we haven't got it. So we go back. It's strange. We're still winning the meet. The athletes are all down, and I've got to go back and we're going to speak to them afterwards and just make everyone realise we're in a really nice spot. And this is still the European Championship Derby. We want to be the best club in Europe. We want to go into Las Vegas undefeated, and so does Rob and London Raw. So, there is something on this meet, and we're not going to let go of it.
I guess it's the thing, isn't it? I mean, the relay disqualified, but yet you guys are still on top. So the strength and depth of your team, they really stepped up for you tonight.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And, it knocks the wind out your sails, all right? But there is that reality, like you said, the strength and depth. I've got a great team. I'm chuffed to bits with them. And we've got unknowns stepping up and winning, people that have not been on the international scene before. People could come up to me and say, who's this guy? Who's this guy, Max, that won the 400 medley? But that's the nature of a team event. It does really bring the best out of people.
It's a great breeding ground for those people that potentially have never been in this sort of competition before. The bottom line is they step up. And when you need those moments, you get those swimmers that do step up. And some of the big swimmers we've seen fall.
Like you said, Adam finished fourth in the 50 breast, and I would have predicted that. Yeah. Home crowd, everyone behind him. But he gave his best, and he wasn't far off winning. But the level is picking up as we go through the ISL. And when we go to Vegas, and we've got the two American teams that are going to be fully involved as well. I'm saying we're going to Vegas. It's not confirmed yet. Hang on, getting a bit in front of myself. But the points are looking very healthy for us. So it's looking good for us. But we want to win the meet. We're not going to be happy if we finish second, and we're going to come out tomorrow and try and build on our lead. But the start of the session tomorrow is our week one. We do have a weaker start, and we just got to try and not get left behind London on the first third tomorrow.
Well, thank you, James. We appreciate you joining us. Energy Standard currently are leaders on the first day of the European Derby, and I really thought that the 50 freestyle was a turning point. Another big situation for Energy Standard is the emphasis they got from Chadwick. We saw him win his third straight 100 butterfly, and he is such an incredible weapon for Energy Standard.
Yeah, he covers so many events, and he seems to he always performs. I mean, he's always up there on the MVP standings, and I've got to say, he loves this pool. He loves this water in London. This is the pool that made him.
And Chadwick now joining us. I know that lane number 5 is your favorite spot to be, but what was it like to be back here at the London Aquatic Centre competing?
Hey guys, it was amazing. Honestly, walking out, I was quite nervous because first time racing, obviously in 7 years in the London pool. And I just felt the energy from the crowd. It was really amazing. I mean, I know we weren't supported. Obviously London Roar was the favourite team, but it was really incredible walking out and seeing that same energy. Almost the same core room, same walk out. It was really terrific.
I was going to say, I was chatting to yourself and your dad yesterday. Your dad was really pumped about being back here as well. So it's obviously a place that's special for you, but also being a team leader, I think the rest of your team, they look up to you.
Yeah, thank you. That's a nice compliment. It's a great team we have. We such a great dynamic. Most of us do train together in Turkey, and some of the Russian guys that came in, last minute. It's just a great team chemistry. And I think for me, to be the captain is, I've always said, it's a huge honor for me. It's the first time I've, like in South Africa, we obviously have a great team dynamic, but it's not the same with the relays, because with respect, we're not so competitive. So for me to anchor the team and, touching first, I'm like, damn, I got Morris over to my left and Duncan Scott on the right. I'm just like, damn, this is a crazy field and, a lot of pressure, a lot more pressure than usual. So I seem to thrive on those moments, and tonight was another great performance by the team.
How much fun has this ISL experience been for you? Sold out here in London, sold out in Budapest, sold out in Naples. I mean, it's been some huge energy, particularly over here in Europe. They've really embraced it. Absolutely.
I think for me, even when we first came into the first leg, some of us only had 2.5, 3 weeks of training, but the times were still really fast because of the energy of the crowd and the team dynamic. And especially if you're swimming out in lane 8, you see the teammates are literally 1 meter away. And I remember the first race I had in Indy, James was literally 1 meter away. I'm like, I can't let the team down. It's just like that feeling you have. But altogether, just a great event. I mean, London, like I say, a very special place for me for obvious reasons. But just in general, I love the football here. I love the culture in England. So it's awesome to be back.
Chad, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Chadwick Lowe, Energy Standard, they are in the lead after the first day of competition. Our MVP standings at the end of day number 1 because of that relay disqualification. It's Kayla Sanchez that leads the way, but only by a point. A little bit of a different story than I think that we expected going into this. Sarah Sjostrom currently second, and I think that one of the big races that I enjoyed today was watching Kayla Sanchez work her way back in that 200 freestyle, and Kayla joining us now. Take me back to the 200 freestyle. Did you know that you had it in that final 25 meters?
I kind of just put my head down and charged to the wall. I could kind of see Femke next to me. Wanted to do my best for the team, so I just put my head down and tried to get to the wall.
That was best time tonight?
No, it wasn't, but it was pretty close. I think 0.2 off, so keep working at it for Vegas.
How much have you enjoyed the team camaraderie of all these athletes of different nationalities coming together and doing it for a team as opposed to just individual?
I think it's super cool. I've met so many new swimmers, and to kind of be around people like Sarah and Chad and learn from them and be around them and see what they do and kind of apply it and race my best for them is pretty cool.
Here's a look back at your 200 freestyle, and is this the way you like to swim the 200 freestyle?
I've talked to my coach, and we've worked on kind of staying consistent. I dropped back a bit, and I was slower than I wanted to be at the 100 turn, but I've always kind of had a strong finish, so I just wanted to work it, do my best.
Well, I'm going to say the bottom line is you won the race, but I guess it's also you're still young and you're learning, and it's another way of swimming the race.
Right. Yeah. I'd hope to kind of be more confident through the 100 and just keep going right to the 200, but we're working on it.
But the key for you at the end of the day, Energy Standard on top, it's got to feel good for you guys to potentially go unbeaten going into Las Vegas.
Oh, for sure, because every point that I get is for the team. It's another point for the team, so it's just really exciting to be able to do all for them. Yeah.
Kayla, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Kayla Sanchez, our leader after day 1 as far as the MVP battle is concerned. Our match standings, look at how tight it is because of the relay disqualification. It could have been 40 points. Instead, it is 14 points. London Roar right there in contention, and they certainly have a chance to make their move in the final day.
Yeah, I mean, that was huge, getting disqualification at the end and losing 18 points. But the bottom line is it's left it wide open. The Roar are closer than they would have been.
And one of the big things about the ISL is the fact that I think the swimming community is learning about some new heroes. Minna Atherton, she broke onto the scene with a world record performance in the 100 backstroke in Budapest. And I think you slow played us a little. You didn't think that maybe you'd be going after world record pace, but off to only 2 100s off the world record tonight. What has it been like to compete with the London Roar?
Yeah, it's been really fun. I was a bit surprised with how I've been swimming lately, but yeah, it's just I've been doing really good training. And yeah, I love my team, and I just go out and do my race for my team.
As I said, the beauty of this also is the fact that you're just getting up there and racing. It's not about your times, it's about trying to win the race, right? Which kind of makes you a bit more relaxed about chasing times.
Yeah, there's not as much pressure to do really good times or anything, but obviously you want to do a good time, but yeah, you just go out and do your best for your team to get the most points.
You look really relaxed, you look really, really controlled, really relaxed, and obviously having the world record holder in the race next to you. Here's your 200 backstroke here.
What's your strategy here in the 200 backstroke? Take us through it.
It's different every race. I just like to hold my underwaters, and because I like working them, and just try not to drown, I guess. 200 backstroke's probably one of the harder races that I do. And yeah, towards the end it hurts a lot, but yeah, I just try to hold on.
Because that's the thing, when you say you hold the underwater, and you also hold form so well as well.
Yeah, it's something I've been working on lately. It's part of my stroke and my technique, and yeah, I think I did quite well tonight.
What has the ISL meant to you week in and week out, competing for a team, competing in these big races, especially with crowds like we've seen at these events? It's really been a spectacular scene.
Yeah, it's really fun, and a great opportunity for everyone in the sport to just get to race more. Obviously, there's normally just like one big event each year, and with the ISL, there's going to be a lot more racing. So yeah, it's going to be a great opportunity for everyone.
What do you feel like London needs to do different tomorrow to walk away as European champions?
Just keep doing what we're doing. Go, just like, I don't know, just
first,
yeah,
right?
get to the wall first, get most points that you can. Just everyone just go out and do it for the team and do their best.
Min Atherton, a perfect day, winning the 200 back and the 50 back. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
London Roar currently second in the standings as we head into the second day of the European Derby. And honestly, Mark, they got a really big break there with that relay disqualification by Energy Standard. It makes tomorrow a whole lot more interesting with only 14 points the difference.
But it's a big sway. I mean, we've seen it happen in one of the other meets before, especially double points up for grabs. A relay team disqualified. He could have actually spent a little more time on the block and they would have won the race. But it's one of those things in that moment. We've been there. Sometimes you get things just a little bit wrong, but it adds to the excitement for tomorrow.
And London Roar's head coach Mel Marshall joining us. And Mel, you take a look at day one. What do you feel like the London Roar could have potentially done better?
I think what we've got is we've got a couple of people that are a bit tired, been on the road a long time. But you know, I can't fault their character. They stood up and did the job. You've got people in there like Sydney Pickham, who's what do we call her? MVP. No, we went most busy player.
Oh, okay.
So don't worry, I won't get it wrong, Mark. Yeah, so we called her the most busy player. So she's backed up 3 swims there, and I think we've put ourselves in a good position, all right, in terms of tomorrow. You know, we've got 25% of our team that kind of aren't here, and we know that we've got more to bring. But you know, I'm really proud of the guys tonight, and they've done a really good job.
I'm going to say, seeing Adam, I think the thing is when I saw him this morning getting in, big and bulky, but obviously he's in a hard training at the moment, hence the 200 was great. Yeah.
He's done a good job. That'll hurt him, that coming fourth there, he'll hate that. But you know, it's really important for him because it keeps him, you know, grounded. And at this level, we want to do things that they do. You know, it has to hurt you when you come to these events. It has to hurt you because it drives you on to become better and a bigger version of yourself. So, but I think in the sense of tonight, you know, he's obviously fit. And he's obviously in good shape, and he's done his job for the team today.
And tonight inside the London Aquatic Centre, certainly you guys had the crowd behind you. You could just really sense roar. They were cheering you guys on. What did that mean for you?
I mean, the guys were really excited. Yes, they were in the team meeting. You know, we said that the crowd's here for them, and they've loved that. You know, you see Vinnie Lanza walking out here with an absolute giant smile on his face. You see Kate, you know, talking to the crowd and just engaging them. And this is the kind of benchmark meet, really. You know, that it's been really well put together. The crowd's full. You can feel the energy in the stadium, and I just think it's been a really, really enjoyable day one.
And it should be a whole lot of fun to see how this European Derby finishes out.
Absolutely.
London Roar down by 14 points, but Mel Marshall's team well within reach. And the story for Team Iron, Katinka Hosu doing what she does, her 3rd win in the 400 IM. And you called it at the end. You said she does not like to lose, and she did not lose this 400 IM.
No, and she doesn't lose very, very often. First event in the evening, obviously, was fresh. and then got tighter as the meet went on. But no, she doesn't lose often at all. And if she does, she doesn't lose without trying.
Katinka, take us through your 400 IM.
Hi guys.
Hello.
My 4 IM. But we are in season, so I think that's what you can see when I swim. It's tough to race at this time of the year, but everyone is racing, so it's been pretty fun to see. And I think this is why it's interesting, because you can't really tell before the race what's going to happen, because you don't know where swimmers are at their training. Are they tapering? Are they training? Are they rested or not? So you never really know what's going to happen in a race. So that's what I think ISL is doing really well, to have all these races and swimmers swimming all these different races as well.
But I love the fact that you just keep getting up there, though. You put yourself in many events, you might not be on your best form, but you're still getting in there for the team. And it's about your team.
You know, I have been racing a lot. For like 8 years now, and before in college as well. So I always try to put my ego aside and just get up and try to fight. And sometimes it really doesn't happen. I mean, I got last place on the 2-3, and it gets, I touch the one, I'm like, I don't even want to see the time, the place, I just want to get out. But on the end of the day, like I knew I fought hard, and sometimes it's good to get last. It just puts you in a place. So I don't always put myself in a position to always win, and I think it's good for the league as well. We see a lot of swimmers swimming races they might not choose to swim if it would be only just for themselves. Like RMPT coming second in that field on the 2 breasts, I think that was pretty cool.
That was great. I think that's what we've seen. I've seen Duncan Scott do a 400 individual medley. I've never seen him do that event. But in every team, you're having to sometimes step up and do something you don't want to do, but for your team.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, and getting on the blocks, it's like sometimes you might not push it for yourself as hard, because you just you have your excuse, you get out, and it's just you have to look in the eye in the mirror. But if there are other 30 swimmers who are giving their best, you also want to give your best. So I think this competition format is definitely pushing swimming in a higher level, and I think in years to come, hopefully if the league is growing, I think swimming also is going to get much faster.
Katinka, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Katinka 3
Nice
for
seeing you.
3 in the 400 IMs. Great first day here in the European Derby, but the one thing that we know, Mark, is that anything could happen. A week ago, LA Current, they trailed the Cali Condors, they climbed back in the skins, and tomorrow, particularly in the women's skins, I think that that's going to be as interesting as it gets.
Yeah, and the thing is, you're going to get some tired bodies out there. So, they've a lot of racing today. The skins being triple points as well. Kate Campbell, Sjostrom, Kumro Jojo, and that 50 freestyle on the women's on the skins. It's going to be a tight race. And then Morozov going up against Manadou and Proud on the 53.
As women's star list, our projected racers in the skins: Sjostrom, Kate Campbell, Chroma Jojo. Chroma Jojo, she's won 2 skins battles so far. Sjostrom and Campbell have each won a skins race, and it should be interesting. And take a look at where we are on the men's side. This is probably the race for the London Roar. They really need Duncan Scott to do something if they're going to have an opportunity, particularly already down 14 points.
Absolutely. And Duncan Scott doesn't have an awful lot of speed, but what he does have, if he's still in there, he won't tire. So that's his opportunity.
Well, it's going to go down to the skins tomorrow to find out who is the most dominant team in Europe, who stays unbeaten. Back here tomorrow, 5 o'clock local, 12 o'clock Eastern. We hope you join us. ISL concluding tomorrow from the London Aquatic Centre with the European Derby.